So next topic is asset accounting. Here also you will find lot of changes. It's a new asset accounting. So I'm going to divide this one into two different segments. First, I'm going to show you what exactly you are going to do from migration point of view. Then we will do the detailed configuration. Because when you are going to do the migration, you have very limited activities for the configuration point of view. But those are important areas also. So assume that we are migrating from 4.7 system where we are using the classic asset accounting. So in the old system, we are using classic GL, no new GL, and classic asset accounting. So in asset accounting, you can see very few configuration steps are for you as migration configuration point of view. Like one is you need to migrate the chart of depreciation, the old chart of depreciation to the new system. That is one step. Next, you are going to activate the new asset accounting. That's it. Okay, so when you're going to do the migration, you're going to only perform these two steps. But these two steps will work if other configurations are there. So first, when you are going to complete like activate new asset accounting. So once the other configurations are complete, then only you are going to activate. Other configurations, maybe it is not applicable always because after activation there are some more configurations are there. So other configurations maybe it's not applicable always. For example, if you are migrating from EHP 7 just before S4 HANA, so in that case, so those configurations may be not relevant. But if you're migrating from 4.7, then you have to do this one. So, okay, so we will see. First, we will see what are the new features or new facilities are available in the new asset accounting. Okay, then we will come to this part. So now, if you'll check the simplification list, let me close it. So if you'll check the simplification list, they clearly mention new asset accounting is the default solution right now in S4 HANA Finance. So that means classic asset accounting we can't use anymore. And activation of new asset accounting at client level. That means if you're having 3 company code, it's not like for every company code you are going to activate the new asset accounting. It is one-time activity. And here we are completely or like 99% we always follow the best practice or the ledger approach. But if you want account approach you can use, but practically if you will say I have not seen anyone using account approach after introduction of new GL, not even S4 in ECC also. So that's why ledger approach you can say like we are going to use, and that is the beneficial also. Okay, so what are the prerequisite when you are going to work on the new asset accounting? First of all, two business functions must be required to be activated. One is already there, that is EFIN. So the new depreciation calculation will work if you have the EFIN business function must be active, which is already activated in the beginning. We verified in our client. So EFIN must be active. Then you will find here some changes like table level changes. So that we will see once I will post the transaction. So those old tables are not applicable or no, we are not going to use anymore, like your asset header NEK, not we are not using. So it is linked with NEK shifted data shifted to BKPF. Then all other tables like your ANAP line items, ANEA proportionate value, ANLP periodic value, and asset value ANLC. So now all your data will be available in the Universal Journal or SC docket table. Plus, we are going to have one more new table that we will see during once we will have the postings. So it is related to depreciation. So that also we are going to see. Now, what are the old things which are earlier it was there, but now it is not required? One is earlier we have issue that is the reconciliation. So if in your old system we have one transaction code ABST2. This is EC system. Okay, so we have to do the reconciliation between asset and between GL. Why this reconciliation is required? In this particular company, one company code, I posted a couple of transactions related to asset acquisition. So if I posted the transaction, so definitely there should be some documents related to asset must be there. So I'm searching the document asset posting. So I can't see any document for this particular company code. But if you go to the GL line item, or if you go to the asset explorer, okay, so this asset already retired, so no value is there. Let me show you the other one. So you can see some transactions are there. So postings are there, asset value is there. And check the GL line item also. Right, so transactions are there. Transactions are there, but documents we didn't found when we search the document type with double A. It's because you can see the document types are recorded with DR or KR. So with acquisition entry it is KR, with retirement it is DR. So that means only operation documents are generated when you are posting the asset transaction. It's not yet reconciled. So that is why we have a feature is there in ECC that we need to do the, or users need to do the asset reconciliation. So reconciliation between GL and asset. Reconciliation between GL and asset. So it's a periodic activity. Before closing of your books of accounts, you need to perform this one. And that is in ECC system, you have to perform how? As the transaction code ABST2. So you will find this transaction code. Account reconciliation, transaction code ABST2. Now whatever I explained, this is the old concept. Now it is not required. So reconciliation will be there, but manually reconciliation no one is going to do. So this reconciliation between asset and GL, asset and GL, by design or automated. So no one is going to do this manually or periodically. No, we are not going to use ABST2 periodically. So this will be automated or by design. Why? Due to the new features of technical clearing account. What is this technical clearing account? We will see during configuration. Due to this technical clearing account. So first point, reconciliation is not required, or no reconciliation required before your financial closing. It's not required. Fine. Now, in ECC, how many depreciation areas you are going to maintain? Maybe you are working on depreciation area 1, so that means only book depreciation you are maintaining, so no worries in this case. But if you are working on two different depreciation areas, as for let's say company law and tax, or two different accounting principle, so as for one accounting principle, your asset value is 10 years, another accounting principle asset value is 8 years, or depreciation key is also different. So as per one depreciation area, book depreciation asset value is 1000. Tax depreciation, for example, tax depreciation asset value is 800. So in this case, there is a difference between book depreciation and tax depreciation is there. So that is why you have to maintain one delta depreciation in ECC. So delta depreciation you need to maintain as 200. Again, as period end activity, this delta depreciation you need to adjust with your APC value. Okay, so your delta depreciation you need to adjust with your APC value again before closing. So this activity is also there we are doing. You can see before ASKP, APC value postings. Okay, if for example in this company code, if I will run this one, first of all, I can't complete here the reconciliation, right? If you'll see here, suppose I am trying to do the ABST2. Okay, I want to do the reconciliation. So you can see here I'm getting one error message. That means it is not yet completed. So the year-end activity is not yet completed. So one of the pending activities in this company code, that is your ASKB. So ASKB is not executed yet. Okay, so I selected the company code TY06 and run it. So now you can see some amount I am getting with related to transactions, related to loss I'm getting some entry, depreciation is also I'm getting entry, and this is a comparison of your book depreciation and tax depreciation. Okay, so this is your tax depreciation, periodic depreciation, depreciation area one depreciation, and this is a delta depreciation difference. Why we got this one? Because there is a difference, or the source if you'll see, check this one, this is one existing asset is there. As per the book depreciation, what is the depreciation value? 25.21. As per the tax depreciation, 37.81. So two different calculations, two different rules are applicable in this particular asset. So that is why to adjust this type of, this is not yet executed, so that's why this is not there in the delta, because we have not posted any activities related to that. But the 1711 what I am getting here, 1780, this is related to the old asset, asset number one which already retired. Okay, but whatever the transactions you are going to perform, there is a delta depreciation will be there, because when we maintain the depreciation area, check how many depreciation areas are there. You just ignore for the time being this one, just ignore. So we have two depreciation areas, 1 and 10, but I added here the delta depreciation because difference value is there at two different regions. The concept of delta depreciation, what I explained now, completely dropped. Delta depreciation, difference between two different areas, delta depreciation, which you need to perform with transaction code ASKB. This is periodic activity, you need to transfer your values to the APC. So this one now not applicable. So this one is not applicable. So no concept of delta depreciation. Due to this, another feature is there, that is your flexibility of your leading valuation, or you can say no more dependency on depreciation area 01. No more dependency. These are the new features of asset accounting, new asset accounting. No more dependency on dependency area 01. So let's understand what is this. If you have two depreciation areas, book depreciation tax depreciation. Okay, and some other depreciation areas also there. Costing depreciation. This is your depreciation area 01. This is your depreciation area 10. This is your depreciation area, let's say 51. Now in this depreciation, like 3 active depreciation areas you have added here in the system, but whatever the transactions you are posting, not depreciation posting, I'm saying transactions, let's say acquisition of asset, retirement asset, so you will have only accounting entries or system entries for your book depreciation 01. Other depreciation areas will not be updated. Maximum only the tax, if you have configured the non-leading ledger and another non-leading ledger assigned to a depreciation area, so you will get depreciation value will be posted with a non-leading ledger, but no other accounting entries. And if you're working on classic asset accounting, then no question of other entries, only you will have entries in the book depreciation. So that is why always we are dependent on book depreciation. So this depreciation area 10 and 51 or any depreciation area completely dependent on depreciation area 01. Whatever the input value with 01, same will be flow to the depreciation other depreciation areas. So that's why I told, like, no more dependency on depreciation area 01. What is dependency? We will see, we will do a comparison, because I have a complete ECC configuration is there and we are going to do the S4. So in every step we will compare. So this is again not required. And now multiple depreciation areas we can set or can be set up as independent. So that means if you're having 4 depreciation area, all 4 depreciation areas are independent. No more dependency on depreciation area 01. Okay, and real-time postings as per accounting principle. Real-time postings as per accounting principle. This one we will see on third segment, that is your asset under construction. This is another feature you can see. Some more updates you will get once I will come to the depreciation part. So let's do a comparison, or sorry, let's do a activity discussion. What exactly you are going to do that means during migrations. First, let me explain the migration. So migration means I am assuming that you did all your configuration, old configurations, and now we are going to do the migration. So first, migration point of view, we have to perform certain pre-requirement activities or prerequisite you have to do. So before going to start the migration, first we have to customize the new asset accounting in the system. Okay, that is I'm saying prerequisite. So before new asset accounting, you have to complete the customization of your asset accounting. But before customization of new asset accounting, again you have some pre-checks are there. Okay, so this pre-check means first check whether any errors are there related to your old settings. Check the program rsfin migration pre-check. Execute. What is the purpose of this program? So this program checks whether all the prerequisite for the new asset accounting have successfully completed for all company code, or simple language if I will say, there should not be any error related to your company code, existing company code. So no error should be there related to this company code. Like you can see for some company code, some errors are there. So make sure that no error should be there. Actually in this program it checks whether APC postings have been completed or not in the old asset accounting, and this one you are going to check in the old system. right? So if you'll see this one in ECC also, it will. Okay, so you can see some errors are there, like errors related to, like if you'll check in my company code also, you can see it is not yet done. So APC values in company code TY06 are not completed. So this must be complete as your prerequisite, pre-activities. Then before migration, make sure that certain notes must be there. As I told, we are going to note number 2147666, note number 2180591. These notes must be there in your system. In new asset accounting, we are going to work on parallel valuation of asset accounting. So what is parallel valuation? As we dropped the delta depreciation, and if you are having two depreciation areas, all depreciation areas are real depreciation. That means whatever the activities you are going to do with asset accounting, new asset accounting, it is going to update separately with all your depreciation areas, all your active depreciation areas. So that means for this depreciation area with accounting principle, some entries, for this depreciation area with some accounting principle, some difference. So maybe your asset value we can capitalize differently as per the different rules accounting principle wise. So that is why EFIN is not only mandatory, along with EFIN you must have activated the parallel valuation. So that is again another prerequisites. So if you remember in the old one, during our maintenance plan discussion, we need to ask your basis so that this particular business functions also required to be activated in the system. Okay, so they will activate, just you ensure that this business function must be active in your system before doing the configuration. Once you'll do the configuration, then you're going to face the issue. So make sure that this particular business function in your new system, it must be active. And again, activation at client level. So one is EFIN, already we discussed in the beginning. EFIN activation required. Check this one. Fin underscore double A underscore parallel valuation. So this must be also active in the system. And another one, EFIN. EFIN already we have seen in the beginning. Let me show you once again. Financial extension functionalities. Okay, EFN. So this is active. So both the business functions must be active, but EFN also required the new GL. So another important point here, new GL activation is mandatory. If you are not going to work new GL or new GL business functions, if you are not going to apply, then asset accounting is also not going to work. So it is mandatory. You have to activate the new GL, or you can say in S4 new GL activation is mandatory. Okay. Next, what other things you are going to do? You need to complete your old activities related to assets. That is, one is your year-end closing activities. So year-end closing means AJAB in the old system. It is not for migration we are doing. Every year we are doing this one. So same activity you need to complete. So you need to complete your year-end closing activities related to asset accounting. One is your AJRW, that is your fiscal year change. But in new system, this is not the process we are going to follow. AJRW, even if you try to enter the transaction code AJRW, you will not find this particular T, you will not find that particular T code is working. So this particular T code is obsolete. Now it is not going to work. And year-end closing activity point of view, one is ABST2 that you are going to complete reconciliation of your asset and GL, plus you need to complete the AJAB also, year-end closing balance carry forward. That also you are going to do. Year-end closing, already I told you, fiscal year change. This is again one year-end closing activity, AJRW. So this is not, we are not going to use anymore. So ABST2 transaction code you will not find in new system. AJRW transaction code also you are not going to find in the new system. So you need to complete your closing activities like AJAB, ABST2 and AJRW. So that is a fiscal year change, right? Done. Next, what other things we are going to do here? Once this one is done, closing activity is done, then new system or software is upgraded. Then after that, you are going to like installation done. Next, you are going to do the migration of chart of depreciations. As if no new configurations are there from HANA point of view, just migrate the chart of depreciation. So this one we are not finding here because the new node is not added in this system. Migrate to SFIN. Migrate chart of depreciation. Add your chart of depreciation and execute it. So once you will migrate the chart of depreciation, make sure that there should not be any error because you already resolve your errors in the old system. So the chart of depreciation you are migrating. Next question, when you are going to migrate the chart of depreciation, from which system you are going to migrate the chart of depreciation? Assume that we are going to migrate one chart of depreciation from a system where we don't have the new GL. We are migrating from the classic GL. So we have only one depreciation area is there. That is your book depreciation area 01. With this condition, with this status, we are going to migrate the chart of depreciation. Migration I can't show you, so that's why let me copy one depreciation area. So it is AC08, same like how initially in the beginning you need to copy the chart of depreciation from system to your existing company code. So just to show you this one, I'm also going to do the same thing and I will delete all depreciation areas except 01. Completed. So as we copied from the standard system, so multiple depreciation areas are copied. Assume that all depreciation areas not there and we have only one depreciation area is there. So let me select other depreciation area except one. So assume that one depreciation area is there. Now when you are going to migrate the depreciation area, you will find here one new option is added, that is accounting principle, because in ECC we don't have the scope to add the accounting principle. This one is ESP7 system, so that's why here the GL option is there. Okay, adding the GL option, sorry, not this one, adding the GL option is there. So which depreciation area linked with which ledger. But if you'll check a old system, 4.7 system, even you will not find this option. So that is why we are working on the accounting approach. Okay, so in ECC we have if new GL enabled, then you have the ledger you can assign with your depreciation area. In S4 we don't have option to add the ledger. You can see here ledger option is not there, but you need to add your accounting principle. So the moment you will add the accounting principle, so automatically the ledger will be linked, because in our initial settings we have assigned. So with this company code, you can see we have activated certain ledgers with some accounting principle in our previous configuration, old configuration. Now if I will add the accounting principle 60, it will be linked with the ledger 0L. If I will add the accounting principle gap, then it will be linked with N1. GA11 you can't add because it is extension ledger N2, and extension ledger we should not assign to the depreciation area. Only standard ledgers you are going to assign, leading and non-leading. So here we are going to assign the accounting principle, not the ledger. Okay, so add the accounting principle. Now you can see your ledger linked. Area post in real time. Save it. So after migration, you need to add the accounting principle. Next question, whether we are going to continue with only this depreciation area, is it enough? Let me, just to check this one, let me assign this one to our company code. So we migrated with one depreciation area. Now I'm trying to assign this depreciation area to company code. So this is a company code. This is the chart of depreciation which we migrated from the old system. TH01. Save it. Now you can see multiple errors are there. One error I can see some currency related error, and one error is ledger N1 is missing. Why? Because in your company code, in beginning itself, you are working on multiple ledgers, multiple accounting principles. Suppose if you are working on only one ledger 0L, you don't have any scope for non-leading ledger. You can see here in this error list N2 is not there, so that's why I told you only standard ledger you are going to assign. It's not like ledger N2 is missing. It's not like that. So you need to create the depreciation area in the new system. How many active ledgers you have? If let's say we are working on only leading ledger, we don't have any non-leading ledger, then this error will not be there. Okay, only you will find first error, that is something related to currency error you will find. The second error will not be there. But in our company code we have both 0L and N1 is there. So that is why the second error is there. So let's resolve one by one all errors. Then we will see, then also we will try to do the configuration simultaneously. So first error, this one I will come second part. First error I will check that ledger N1 is not defined. So that means only one depreciation area, continue with one depreciation area which you migrated from the source system is not enough. You need to add the other depreciation area. So let me add the other depreciation area. So after migration with one depreciation area or whatever the depreciation area you have, then you are going to check your depreciation area settings whether this is enough to continue or it is not enough. Okay, so we are going to check the depreciation area settings. So only one depreciation area is not enough. You need to have one more depreciation area as per that error. Select, copy. Depreciation area 10, that is your tax depreciation. Accounting principle we are going to use. Now you can see ledger is also linked, N1. Now if it is your ECC system and assume that you are going to work on two depreciation areas, then this depreciation area will not be your real-time depreciation area. For example, in my configuration, ECC configuration, I added here two depreciation areas because it is new GL enabled, but still I don't have scope two real depreciation areas. This is new GL enabled. Is it? Oh, it's already open. Okay, you can see here. This is ECC system, and right, this is ECC system. Here, you just ignore for the time being this two depreciation area. You just ignore the depreciation area 2. You just ignore the depreciation area 40 also. Delta configuration is also removed. Now, this is another depreciation area we have added, but you can see the type of depreciation area. So this particular depreciation area, if you want to continue, maximum you can continue with area post depreciation only. Area post depreciation only. However, in S4, we can take this depreciation area as independent depreciation area. This depreciation area can be independent depreciation area. That means as we have a book depreciation real time, I can also add this tax depreciation also real time. Right? So the tax depreciation also, it can be real time. Try to compare it. Area post depreciation only. First of all, if you are working on the classic, then this will not be there. Here, new GL enabled. So I can assign my non-leading ledger T1 and I can change it to area post depreciation only, or I can continue with area post depreciation only. So if I will run the depreciation, if I will execute the depreciation, then you will find here a depreciation entries separately in my leading ledger, depreciation entries second in non-leading ledger. But in S4, I can take this depreciation area post in real time, no more dependency on depreciation area 1. So I added one more depreciation area after migration. So we migrated with 1, then I added one more depreciation area. So now I have two depreciation areas are there, 1 and 10. 1 and 10. Let me once again assign this to your company code. So we added the depreciation area and I'm trying to assign to company code, chart of depreciation to company code. The old error resolved, that in N11 error was there, that one resolved, but still I'm getting the parallel currency error. So another different error is there. So what is the concept of parallel currency? This error again, it will be linked with our previous settings. In our old configuration, if you remember, we have activated the global currency also, not only the in universal journal, not only we have activated the company code currency, we have activated the global currency also. Okay, in our previous configuration, check it. Because on the basis of your old settings of your system, then this type of errors are expected. Let's say we have a very simple configuration. We don't have any other currency settings except the company code in the universal journal. Then this is not required. You don't have any other settings other than your leading ledger, then second depreciation area is not required, because in the beginning, as we have activated multiple accounting principles with multiple ledgers and currency also global currency we have activated, so that's why this type of errors are there, or we can say the other configuration requirements are there. Okay, so for our leading ledger, you can see global currency activated. That is why we are getting this error. Plus, once I will resolve this error, first related to the leading ledger, then system will throw the non-leading ledger currency issues also. Check. For this also, global currency is activated. So that means you need to add two more depreciation areas here. One is your, so this is your book depreciation. Book depreciation in local currency. Tax depreciation, local currency. You need to add one more depreciation area, let's say 02, book depreciation, group currency. You need to add one more depreciation area, tax depreciation, in group currency. So try to understand the requirement, why we need to add these two depreciation area, this additional depreciation area, this one and this one. The reason is, in the beginning or in our existing company code, earlier we have activated two ledgers, one that means leading ledger as well as, so here if I will add the leading ledger, so this is my leading ledger and this is our non-leading ledger. Here we have assigned the accounting principle 60. Here we have assigned the accounting principle gap, local gap. So only not accounting principle enough. In both the ledgers, we have activated the global currency also in the universal journal SEDOK. So that is why it is mandatory. You need to add these two depreciation areas also. So these two depreciation areas only for information purpose. You will not find any real-time postings for this, but you need to add it. So I'm going to add two more depreciation areas, 21, 21. These numbers are anything, but depreciation area addition is required. And let's say you have activated the global currency in universal journal, but you are working on only leading ledger. You don't have any scope for the non-leading ledger. So then this second two depreciation area is not required. These two not required, but still you have to activate the group currency for your depreciation area 01. Okay, so this 10 and 21 may not be there because you don't have a parallel accounting principle. Okay, add it. Till the time this is not resolved, we will continuously keep on getting the errors. So now I'm going to add two more depreciation areas. Let me copy this one. Depreciation area 2. This is your book depreciation as per the group currency. But this is not the real-time posting, so area does not post. Only have informations on in group currency. Plus you need one more depreciation area for this one. Tax depreciation group currency. This is also area does not post. So now we have 4 depreciation areas. Out of these 4, area post in real time 2, 1 and 10. 2 will be the dependent in future settings we will do. 2 will be the dependent depreciation area for 1. 21 will be the dependent depreciation area on 10. Whereas in ECC, if you are having 4 depreciation areas, only one will be the real depreciation 1 and all other 3 will be dependent on depreciation area 1. But this concept we are not going to follow here. So this one is area does not post, area does not post. Now you can see errors are not there. So all the errors resolved, but still warnings are there because we have not yet completed the complete configuration. Now let's try once again with these settings. With addition of these depreciation areas, can we assign to the company code or not? Let me change the type also, because all depreciation areas are not your here some group depreciation areas are also there, so adjust those group valuation purpose. So this is one correct. This one you need to change from to group valuation 06. This one is also 1616. Fine. Let's assign to company code. Assign chart of depreciation to company code. Still missing, still error is there. That means parallel currency settings are also not yet done, so that is required. Now coming to the currency settings, or just we added this to group depreciation areas, those are not enough. Okay, this yellow highlighted, you need to do the currency settings also. So go to currency, specify the use of parallel currency. So we have 4 depreciation areas. Out of this 4 depreciation area, 2 are real, that is 1 and 10. 2 will be dependent on 1. That means whatever the input value I will add with depreciation area 1, same will be copied to 2 also. So that is why this will be dependent on 1. So I just added here dependent on 1. 21 will be dependent on 10, not on 1. And you can also freeze it so that no user can do any alteration. So no input value. Okay, so whatever the input value we will give to 1, it will be copied to 2. Whatever input value you are going to assign with 10, it will be copied to 21. Suppose you are going to add a depreciation key here for depreciation area 1, same will be copied to 2. That is the settings I am doing. Now change it to your group currency. So if you remember, initially in the beginning, we have activated the group currency as currency type 30. Sorry, as your global currency type. So take the same here. So from where we got this 30? Initially, we added this configuration in our normal currency, central currency screen. Zero means it's real-time depreciation. So now we have two real-time depreciations, 1 and 10. Same. Okay, so this one is 1 and 10 real, 2 is group currency, 21 is group currency, 2 is dependent on depreciation area 1, 21 is dependent on depreciation area 10. Now try to assign. Assign chart of depreciation to company code. All errors are resolved. This is not error related to our new asset accounting. This is general error because OBCL settings are missing. That is why we got this. So once I will fix that, it will work. So related to new asset accounting, after migration, whatever the additional depreciation areas you need to add, so those we add it and we resolve this all the error. Let me fix this one so that we can successfully assign to our company code. So it is not related to anything new here. In EC system also this type of errors you will find, and this is related to OBCL settings which you can resolve here. Assign input tax indicator for non-taxable acquisition. So if you have the tax code, zero tax code, you can assign that one. Like I configured here, the zero tax code, one is your input value and one is your output value. If you don't have a tax code, just simply add here V0 A0, that is also enough. Even if you'll just add the two zeros, that is also enough. So finally, we are able to add or assign our chart of depreciation to company code. Okay, so this is the complete step. Just copying one depreciation area or just migrating one depreciation area is not enough in the new asset accounting, because you have to work on multiple depreciation areas on the required settings you need to complete. Then only it will work. Otherwise, you will get this lot of errors.